Welcome back to all. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Earlier in the day, we did have a technical difficulty in trying to log in into Google Time, which hopefully, be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to try to work on it to make sure it doesn't happen again. But that consumed some time, and I was not able to incorporate the second part of the Musar, what I wanted to teach. So I'm going to do that now as a separate recording. Before I do begin that, I want to thank HASHEM for giving me the honor and the privilege to be able to teach Torah through Google Time. I've never done it before. And I want to actually also thank Rav Chaim Igal for going out of his way. I mean, he's working on making sure that Torah gets spread. And it's not only that the Torah gets spread, but he's also making sure that other people come and learn the Torah with him. And I give you guys a lot of credit for being able to log in into Google Time at 5 p.m., which is really amazing, and I'll explain to you why. That's smack in the middle of the day. That's one of the hardest times. People are very busy. Either you're at work, either you're at home, either you have to take care of the kids, and still somehow you guys make the time to sit and learn Torah. Well, some of you guys might be driving or might be even walking, but the fact is that you guys are tuning in and want to learn. So that is a very great accomplishment. Once again, I really want to thank HASHEM for giving me the opportunity to learn Torah. It's a tremendous blessing. Without Torah, Rabotai, it's like fish without water. Without Torah, there's no life. And also, I just want to personally and on an open level, I want to go ahead and I want to tell Rav Chaim Igal that what he's doing, a person that 2 years ago, I don't know if he knew I don't know how much he knew about religion, but to make a turnaround this big and being able to go out and help people, it's one thing to help people financially, right? Because we know that he started a whole Gemach fund, he started lending money with no interest. That's unbelievable, Rabotai. But not that only, now he wants to spread the Torah. So, Reuven John, we want to thank you for that. Much appreciated, much respect for that. It's not normal that you don't think about yourself, but you think about also other Jews. So again, I want to just thank you. And one of the saddest things in life is we start appreciating people when they die. We don't appreciate people when they are alive. Like the Gemara says, you shouldn't praise a person with all the praises that he has. A little bit you're allowed to, but not a lot. But one of the saddest things in life is when a person passes away, then you start hearing about how wonderful he was, what he did, and so on and so forth, and how much you want to thank him, and so on and so forth. Rabotai, that's nice, which is a eulogy. You have to eulogize him, you have to give them kavod omed, you have to give honor to the dead person. But if we have to give honor to a dead person, how much more so we have to give honor and we have to give respect and we have to thank the people that are still alive. One person said something very sad. He said, Rabbi, how is it possible that a man only gets flowers after he dies, when he's 6 feet under? What, during his lifetime his wife can buy him flowers? That, Rabotai, hits home. Because as long as we are alive, where do you ever, nobody's looking for recognition, nobody's looking for honor, nobody wants respect. But when was the last time you went and you said to your wife, babe, you're amazing. To be my wife, to be the mother of my children, to take care of them. What's wrong with saying positive words? What's wrong with saying good words? Why do we have to wait chas v'shalom until something horrible happens and then we wake up? Why? Why can't we do it when people are still alive? Is it something wrong? No, I don't think there's anything wrong. So too the wife should tell the husband, babe, it's unbelievable. I spend the money, I use your credit card, I drive a car, I come home, there's light, there's food on the table. Thank you for putting everything, thank you for arranging everything, thank you for taking care of our kids, thank you for paying the bills, thank you for this. What is wrong by hearing a thank you from another person? And unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't. We think it's supposed to come to us. No, it's not. Everybody, thank you HaShem, thank you HaShem, thank you HaShem. Rabotai, there is halakha in the Shulchan Aruch. In halachot of Kibbud Avi'em, you could have a child that is very religious. He could learn Torah 24 hours, 7 days a week, never sin in his life. I'll explain to you what I mean. Never. Only he's connected to Torah. But when it comes to honoring his mother and his father, he shows them no respect. Let's say that sin he does, which is a very big sin because that's a sin from the Torah. You have to respect your mother and your father. Comes the Shulchan Aruch, and the Shulchan Aruch uses this language. I don't want to open the Shulchan Aruch right now, but he uses this language. HaShem says, if, put it to you like this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, how do you know if I'm found in your house, if my Shekhinah, if my presence rests in your house? HaShem says, if your children honor you, I'm there. If your children don't honor you, I say, thank God I'm not there. That's the language of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem says, if children honor their parents, I'm there, I'm happy because Hashem is one of the partners. But if children don't honor their parents, Hashem says, I'm not there. Rabotai, why is that? How could that be? Guy sitting and learning Torah all day, he recognizes you, Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, how you recognize me? How do you honor me? How do you thank me when you don't even know how to recognize that the ones that you actually see, your parents, you can't respect them, you can't thank them? If you can't thank them, you definitely cannot thank me. Because we don't see Hashem. Yeah, we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we believe in Hashem. But do you see? No, you don't see. So how can you thank somebody? How can you respect someone that you can't see, where someone that you could see, you cannot do it? So that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu went and he put in the 10 commandments. What is the 5th commandment? To honor, kabet et avicha ve'et imecha, honor your father and your mother. And on which side is that place? On the side where it says, Ani Hashem Elokechem, I am Hashem your God that took you out of the land of Egypt. Why is it why is it on the side with the commandments and not on the side, meaning, why is it on the side where the mitzvot are between people and Hashem and not on the side where between people and people? Because there are 10 commandments. The first 5 are between us and Hashem. The next 5 are between people to people. Do not murder, do not kill, do not steal, do not be envious. Why? Rabotai, do you know why the parents are on the side of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? If Hashem says, if you really want to honor me, first honor your mother and your father. That, Rabotai, is Torah. That is Torah, Rabotai. Why am I saying all this? I want to get back to what I was saying earlier. We want to be able to thank people when they are alive, not chas v'shalom when they're already gone. When was the last time we went to our parents and said, Mom, Dad, thank you. Thank you for bringing me to this world. You know, Mother's Day, I don't know how many people celebrate. I know by the Jewish calendar, you know, Mother's Day is every day, I understand. But on the non-Jewish calendar, it's only once a year. Father's Day, also once a year. So Rabotai, I play a small trick with my parents. Again, you might say it's wrong, right, doesn't matter. This is what my parents are able to understand. They're trying to do their best. You have to give them honor. So I call my mom and I wish her happy Mother's Day. She says, thank you so much. And I say, Mom, I want you to know I'm the one who made you a mother. But as a joke, it makes her happy, Rabotai. We have to be able to go ahead and thank our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins. How many of us, Rabotai, where we see it, where do we see it? The only place you're going to see thank yous are in the Yeshua. On Charoshable, he was a good guy. Thank you for everything you did, for all the donations that you did. Thank you for always being there for me. For what? Why can't you say it when he's alive? Anyway, Be'ezrat Hashem, everybody should live the minimum 120 years of age. Once again, we deeply want to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us the opportunity to be able to do Google time. And at the same time, I really want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Reuven Itzgelev, that he's going out of his way and he's getting, he's doing a lot, Rabotai, just to make sure that it works, just to make sure everybody's on it and, you know, the Torah gets spread. So, Reuven, thank you very much. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu continue watching after you, blessing you. May you see a lot of nachat from your children, and everyone that joins you should be able to also learn from you that, you know, Rabbi Shmuel Elishayev, or Elishayev, I don't know, I always get confused with his name. I just want to be able to know. So I want to be able to say the right name of the rabbi. One time he said something beautiful. He said, can you imagine that if one Jew brings back another Jew, and if you have 1 million religious Jews, and each one's going to go back and going to bring one more Jew back to HaShem, you have 1 million Jews that did teshuvah. Can you imagine? Rabbi Noach Weinberg Zatal said, if Hitler, Yimach Shmo, one person who was able to kill 6 million Jews, you could have also one person that could bring back 6 million Jews. Look at the power of one. Okay, Rabotai, with that being said, let's get straight into learning. We started speaking about that there is a mitzvah to say in the morning, Modeh ani lefanecha melachai v'kayam, shehechazarte binishmati bechamla, pause, then continue with the words, Rabba imunatecha. Right? In English, I give thanks before you, living in eternal God, for you have returned my soul into me with compassion. Great is your faithfulness. Now, just note that's the English. I'll be saying it in Hebrew. It's just much more pleasant to say it in Hebrew. But I want to read for you the Musar part over here. So this rabbi, right, from the Sefer Talalei Orot, he brings down over here and he says like this. The Medrash Echa Rabotai on chapter 3, verse 23 says, if a man entrusts one of his belongings to his fellow, he cannot be certain that he will get it back. You give something to someone, what are the chances you're going to get it back? You're afraid. Ever happened to you? You give somebody your car to drive? The whole time you're thinking, what's going to happen? Somebody one time, I don't know if I should share this, but somebody one time said to me, Rabbi, I think it was on one day, I forgot which day it was, said, Rabbi, can you hold this watch for me? Now, at that time, I did not know what the Richard Mille or Richard Mille, I don't know how they call it. I didn't know what it was. Honestly, I didn't know what it was. So he gave it to me, fine. So I put it on. He said, just hold it for me. Listen, I'm not wearing it, you wear it. Okay, fine. So, as the day was going by, somebody comes up to me and says, Rabbi, you know you're wearing a house on your hand. So how am I wearing a house on my hand? He says, you know that watch is at least $300,000 or $500,000, depending on the model. I said, no, you're lying. He said, no, I'm telling you the truth. So you're lying. He said, no, I'm telling you the truth. So I went and I actually looked it up. Richard Mille, these watches. I was shocked. $150,000, $300,000, $1 million. Wow, people pay for this. Wow, I'm like, wow. But the problem was I had to take my wife out. And I remember going out now that I know this and I went out with my wife, I was actually afraid to walk with this watch outside. So what did I do? I took the watch and I put it under my seat in the car. I don't want to wear it. Why am I going to wear such an expensive? What do I need it? I was waiting to hope to give it to back the next day. So as we were having dinner, the whole time in my mind, I was thinking, I hope nobody breaks into my car. That's all I was thinking. Why am I bringing this down? When you entrust something of yours to someone else, you don't know if you're going to get it back or not. On the other hand, we entrust our souls to the Holy One every night when we go to sleep, and every morning He returns them to us. What is more, He returns our souls renewed in better condition than when He received them. You give HaKadosh Baruch Hu your soul exhausted, drained, tired. You wake up in the morning a brand new person. Look at the greatness, Rabotai. Is it not something we have to thank HaShem? Is that not something unbelievable? Can you imagine if you wouldn't sleep 2 days, 3 days straight? See how you're going to function. When we have to learn, when I have to teach, or even when people stay up on Hoshana Rabbah or Shavuot, you have to stay up all night. You stay up all night, see how you already finished the next day. And it's not only the next day, the whole week it kills. Because you're not yourself. You know, people go on plane trips, right? They say, I'm jet lagged. That's it, I can't, I have to sleep, I'm tired. Rabotai, look. When you go to sleep, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? You go to sleep tired, exhausted, all beat up. You wake up in the morning, brand new person, energized, unbelievable, unbelievable. And the interesting thing is when you're sleeping, your body is working, is digesting food, everything is getting rid. It's unbelievable the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the way He created the person's body. That's why, Rabotai, when we say Modeh Ani Lefanecha Melech Chai V'Kayam, we really have to internalize it. We really have to make it part of us. We have to believe that it's really thank you Hashem. But like I mentioned earlier before, in order to be able to say thank you Hashem, you have to be able to also say thank you to other people that are around you and helping you. Okay, very, very important. Nothing that we deserve nothing that we're getting should be handed down to us, but still we're getting it. The least we can do is say thank you. Now, the Sefer Talmud continues and he says, the Khatam Sofer, which was a humongous giant, comments. He says, excuse me. He says, when you look into these words, Modeh Ani Lefanecha Melech Chai V'Kayam She'echzarti Bi Nishmati Bechemla Rabbi Emunotecha, the Khatam Sofer explains that these words are truly astonishing. First of all, how can anyone entertain the idea that heaven would lie and deny the deposit? Rabotai, you hear the Khatam Sofer's question? One more time. The Khatam Sofer says, how can anyone entertain the idea that heaven would lie and deny the deposit? Where's the question? Because when you pay attention to the sentence of the Modeh Ani, what do we say? I thank you, Hashem, for returning my soul. What, are you saying that you were suspecting Hashem that He would not return your soul? Therefore you have to go ahead and you have to thank Him? Doesn't make sense. Comes the Khatam Sofer and he says, the way we're saying Modeh Ani, it's as if Chas v'Sham Lolini, we're suspecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He shouldn't return our souls. That's question number one. Secondly, second question, what do we say? She'echzarte bi nishmati, my soul. The soul that you have in you, is yours or does it belong to Hashem? We know that every soul is carved out and is brought down into a person's body from the throne of glory, from Hashem's throne of glory. So what is my soul? What's yours? Nothing is yours. Nothing in this world is yours. What's the proof? When a person dies, you leave everything behind. So how can you say my soul? Since when does something become yours? So that's what he's saying. Secondly, a person's soul is not something he owns and can hand over as a deposit. Hashem, not us, has the power over the souls that are in our keeping, and He can take them from us whenever He wills. So that's why this whole thing is really a problem. The way we say Modeh Ani in the morning, I thank before you, Hashem, that you have returned my soul. Number one, what, am I suspecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He's not going to return my soul? That I have to thank Him for returning my soul? Number two, how can I say my soul? It's really not your soul. It's really Hashem's soul, and Hashem has the power to do whatever He wants with the soul. So comes the Khatam Sofer and he says, it is more accurate to say that our souls are His, deposited with us temporarily, until it is time for us to leave the world. On the day that we die, after 120 years of age, He takes back His deposit. That's the way we should say the prayer. That is Hashem's soul deposited with us. And it's as a deposit with us until we're ready to give it back to Him. So why over here in the prayer we're saying just the opposite? Why are we saying, I thank Hashem for returning my soul, and I've deposited my soul to you? What do you mean you deposit? How can you deposit something which is not yours? So Rabotai, so these two questions are going to be right now answered. He answers and he says, imagine that someone deposits one of his belongings with his fellow and hires him to guard it for a set amount of time. Not only do the two have to agree upon the guard's fee, they also must fix the date when the object will be returned. If the guardian loses the object in the meantime, or damages it, he will have to pay from his best currency. Let us say that during the time that he's supposed to be watching the object, the guardian returns it to its owner and asks him to watch it. When the owner sees his object, he notices that it has been severely damaged, and he realizes that the guardian has been negligent in fulfilling his duties. In such a case, it is very unlikely that the owner will return his deposit to this fellow for the time remaining. Normally, the owner will think to himself, why trust him further? He is liable to cause even more damage. Although I will be able to collect compensation from him, why trouble myself? I'll just keep my object and not return it to him. So it is regarding the soul. The Holy One deposits a soul with a person for a fixed amount of time, until the day the person dies. If the person takes care that the soul departs from this world pure and without sin, just as it entered, the one that was entrusted with the soul certainly will receive a lot of reward. On the other hand, if he is negligent and allows the soul to become blemished and damaged, his punishment is great. The soul will need to be repaired. It will have to go to Gehenom, where its blemishes will be burned out of it until the soul again is pure and the whole as it was at the start. Now, Rabotai, he says, every night a person's soul, the deposit, returns to its owner in heaven, to the Holy One, who immediately sees that the pure soul has been damaged by the person's sins. Why should the Holy One return his deposit in the morning? After all, the one watching it will only allow it to suffer additional damage. Although the Holy One has created Gehenna and it will be able to set it, and it will be able to set things straight again, why should he bother? He might as well keep the soul in heaven and not return it to the person. Let the negligent guardian perish because of the sin. But the Holy One, but the Holy One acts otherwise. So long as the person's allotted time to care for the deposit has not expired, the Holy One does not hold back his deposit. He returns it to the guardian every morning, for maybe the fellow will amend his wrong ways and thereby will repair the previous damaged neshama. Despite our negligence, HaKadosh Baruch Hu returns us his deposit day after day and in better condition than he received it. We get another chance and another chance and another until all our time with the deposit is up. Now, Rabotai, I just want to be, again, I read the whole story, but I want to be able to go ahead and answer the two questions because he answered it in the story. We just have to see it. The first question we asked, why in the world would I ever suspect that HaKadosh Baruch Hu not returning my soul, that I have to go out of my way in the morning and I have to say, thank you HaShem for returning my soul? What do you mean? Why would I suspect HaShem? So he answered in the story. Why? Excuse me. Because when he gets the neshama back, the neshama comes dirty. It comes full of sins. HaShem has every right to hold the neshama back from going down. He says, let the person perish. What do I care for the person? Let me protect the neshama. Even though there's Gehenna that's going to cleanse him, why do you have to suffer a lot? Why do you have to suffer more than he has to? Let me take the neshama now. Let me cleanse it now. Let's say if he has 100 pounds of sin, let him suffer for 100 pounds of sin. Why wait until it's going to be 1,000,000 pounds of sin, which is going to be greater suffering? So that's why it comes the Khatam Sofer and he says, you know why you're saying thank you? Because in reality, the neshama wasn't supposed to come back to you. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kindness, his great compassion that he has, that he returns the neshama back to us. It's not deserving. That's why you're saying Modeh ani lefanecha. Because really we're not deserving. We're not. There's nobody that's a tzaddik. We all make sins. We all fall. But we got to get back up. But still we fall, Rabotai. But a person shouldn't get his neshama and still Hashem gives it back to you. That he's telling you why you're saying Modeh ani. That answers one of the questions. That answers actually the first question we spoke about. How can we go ahead and suspect Hashem? The second question, how's it my neshama? It's not my neshama. You're right, it's not, but it is. He gave the example. If I lend something to someone And should anything happen during the time while he's guarding it, should anything happen to that object, he's responsible. Why? Because it is his. That's why he's liable. Same thing with us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is really in charge of the neshama. But as long as it's deposited by you, you are responsible. It becomes really yours. Should anything happen to you, you're going to be responsible to pay for it. And that's the way the Khatam Sofer goes out of his way and he answers